NDP MLA Stephanie McLean pre-planned 2 months' worth of absences from the Alberta legislature following 4 months of unverified work. Even the Speaker's office is unable to verify the credibility of McLean's report, saying it runs absences on the, quote, honor system. To cap it off, McLean has received over $67,000 in salary since the last evidence of her doing any work for the taxpayer on this special episode of Meet Your Destroyers. Former NDP cabinet minister and MLA Stephanie McLean resigned from office on the first business day of 2019, ensuring that no by-election would be held in her riding of Calgary Varsity, the riding that Notley's hand-picked communist advisor is currently seeking election in. Since getting the boot from cabinet in early 2018, according to Cheryl Oates in the Premier's office, there's no evidence that Stephanie McLean actually did any work as reported by the Calgary Herald. See, being an MLA is a sweet job, which when the legislature's not sitting, which is most of the year, there's absolutely no job requirements and no one supervising you to make sure that you're actually serving taxpayers. The only time that you're actually monitored is when the legislature is sitting. After being removed from cabinet, the only way we could prove that Stephanie McLean was actually working for her $67,000 is whether or not she showed up to the legislature. Since the legislature has been prorogued, I've finally been granted access to the members' absence reports, as the Speaker's office called them, for Stephanie McLean. Back in the start of January, when Stephanie McLean resigned, I asked the Speaker's office for access to these documents. Over the course of the next 3 months, they denied my request repeatedly for many different reasons, first saying that they were not completed, and then changing their story to say that I could only view them after the legislative session ended, which was officially yesterday. A couple weeks ago, they told me that I would finally be able to look at them instead of letting me view them at the McDougall Centre, though in Calgary, the government's Southern Alberta office. They said I would have to drive all the way up to Edmonton from Calgary, bring a pen and paper, and look at the documents in a closed room. I was mistaken. I thought we lived in an open democracy. Anyways, fast forward to today. I'm obviously in Edmonton, right outside the legislature, and I have a handwritten copy of her report. It turns out that this election dodger submitted 27 total absences in the legislative session. In order to not have your salary docked, McLean had to provide a reason for those absences to the Speaker's office, and her reason was illness or injury. After reading that she had pre-planned illness or injury for 2 months and knowing that she's employed at a law firm, I asked the Chief of Staff at the Speaker's office to provide me with some sort of proof that this is legit. An affidavit or a doctor's note even would have done the trick. The head staffer at the Speaker's office, though, told me that these absence reports work on the honor system, and there's no way to tell if McLean was honestly sick or hurt. If you think I'm being a little bit too nosy into someone's personal life, keep in mind that you, the taxpayer, paid her $67,000. When you step into such a financially lucrative and powerful role, you have an obligation to be accountable. Here's what I think happened. McLean saw the writing on the wall and decided she wanted out of the NDP catastrophe coming up in 2019. So to leave with her head held high, I think she would have left in June when she was given the boot from cabinet. But if she left then, she would have triggered a by-election, which is no bueno for Rachel Notley and the NDP. See, we now know that Rachel Notley's communist advisor, Anne McGrath, is running to replace McLean, and there's no way someone with a red record like Anne McGrath would win a by-election where the whole province had her eyes on her, but there is a chance she could slip under the radar undetected in a general election. Anyways, to postpone the election in Calgary Varsity, Stephanie McLean just pretended to do her job and submitted 2 months' worth of absence reports ahead of time in a single day in order to delay her riding's writ and save Notley an embarrassing defeat just before the general election. That's what I think, at least, given the evidence that we have access to. We've not been able to confirm exactly when her employment with the Calgary law firm began, so we can't say for certain that she was double-dipping 2 salaries at the same time. I can say for certain that she is treading on thin ice. Check out this tweet that she wrote in February disparaging farmers who take up the call of public service. First, did she expect farmers who get elected to just sell their land and call it quits? The legislature needs more farmers and less lawyers. At least that's my opinion. For the Rebel.media, I'm Keean Bexte. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed our coverage here in Edmonton. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. You know the drill.